Alright boys and girls, I hope you're having a lovely day, okay? Today boys, I thought we'd talk about some good old spooky Halloween games to play today, okay? Obviously today is Halloween and I don't know, I think it's time we get in the spirit of things. The main reason I wanted to do this video today, lads, is I kind of wanted to share with a little tradition with you guys that I do, okay? Obviously I am in my 20s, okay? So I ain't going out and doing trick-or-treating and all that, okay? I'm too old for it, okay? So what I do on Halloween is I basically just play a game and watch a good old movie, okay? And it's got to, of course, be Halloween themed. So like last year, I decided that I'd watch Ghostbusters, which is just an amazing movie. I absolutely love that movie, so I watched that, and I played a game which I would tell you guys, but obviously I would kind of spoil it because it's actually in this video. And this year, I'm not actually 100% what movie I'm going to be watching yet. I haven't really decided. I'm sort of stuck between The Shining, or maybe I was thinking maybe watching Constantine. As for the game I'm going to be playing, lads, I'm actually going to be playing The Thing on PS2. This is a game that I got for Christmas, and like when I got the PS2 when I was a kid, I was so scared to play this game that I never actually played it. So I think I'm actually going to play this one this Halloween, you know, because I'm not as scared of it as I used to be when I was a kid. But anyway, boys, let's get into these games, okay? I am going to kick off with a couple of honorable mentions. I just wanted to throw them in there. They're not in my top 10, but I just put them out there anyway, okay? We'll start off with Fear 2, just a really underrated horror game. I really like the Fear series, especially the first one and the second one. The second one, in my opinion, is the spookiest.
It's spooky.
Next, we've got Alien Isolation. This game is just the absolute jump scared, like, machine right here. If you like your jump scares, this one will definitely do that to you, okay? This game is jumpy as hell. And then we've got Outlast, and I think this has got Outlast 1 and 2 on it. I've never actually played Outlast 2, but Outlast 1 is very scary, okay? So if you want a scary game, check out Outlast. Next up, lads, we've got Resident Evil 2 Remake, which is definitely one of the scarier, like, Resident Evils. Obviously, there's quite a few, like, action sort of Resident Evils, like Resident Evil 5. This one is more of a survival horror one, so this one is perfect for Halloween. And the final honorable mention we've got here, boys, is The Quarry, okay? This game is perfect if you guys enjoy movies like Scream, you know, like slasher movies like that. This game has a bunch of teenagers in there, they're annoying as fuck, and you almost want them to die, okay? So sometimes you might even kill them on purpose. So if you like movies like Scream, you'll enjoy this one. This one is good. Alright then, boys and girls, let's get on to the top 10, okay? I've got a nice little pile here, and let's just go through them, okay? We're going to start off with the game that I did play last Halloween. It was just absolutely perfect. I was able to finish it in one day, because it's not a very long game, and it's going to be Until Dawn. Very, very similar to The Quarry, but in my opinion, just much better. Yeah, I played this one on Halloween. I'd already played it before, but I wanted to play it again. I played this one when it was getting dark, and I don't know, the atmosphere was setting in, and I just wanted something like this, and it's nice and spooky. It's got that lovely atmosphere to it, and it's just such a fun game. I did actually try to save as many people as possible. I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I think I killed like 2 people, so I nearly did it, but didn't quite. But yeah, this is such a good game, boys, okay? You can get it pretty cheap these days, so I would definitely recommend this one if you haven't played it. Such a nice little game for, like, Halloween and stuff. Okay, next up, lads, we've got one of my favorite horror games of all time, okay? And that is going to be Silent Hill 2, okay? I mean, this game, I've talked endlessly about this game on this channel. You guys know I love this game. And what I find weird about this game is I've heard a lot of people say that this is, like, one of the least scary Silent Hill games, but I don't know. Maybe this is just kind of the horror that affects me the most, but this game really got under my skin, okay? This game is one of the scariest games I've ever played. It's kind of very subtle with its horror, okay? It's not like in your face and very obvious. It's very subtle with like the horror things that it does. Like, for example, we're right in the beginning of the game when you're going through the apartment blocks. I think I've talked about this before, but we're going to talk about it again. And yeah, you're going through the apartment blocks and you'll come across Pyramid Head, okay? And he is a scary guy, and he'll just look at you and breathe. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't like outlandishly run at you or anything like that. He just looks at you, and then if you go into a room and then come back, he disappears, and that's the end of that. And you're just like in your head, you're like, where the fuck did he go? It really does mess with you. Then a little bit later on in the game, you'll walk into a room and you'll just hear this weird whisper thing, and I swear to God, boys, when I first played this, I nearly turned the console off. I didn't want to be there anymore. I was like, okay, I think I'm done with this game. That really did fuck with me.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can track him, mate, but not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
So the people that say that this game is not scary, I don't understand that. This game is definitely scary, okay? It really does mess with you. There's just something about this atmosphere that is just like, it really does get under your skin. And yeah, even to this day, I struggle to play this one. Even though it's one of my favorite games of all time, it's hard to play because it is so scary, especially now where I live in, I don't live with my parents anymore, you know? I'm in the house alone, so playing this one in the dark, I don't know, man. That doesn't sound fun to me, but maybe I'll just do it because it's Halloween. Fuck it. Okay, then boys, next up we got a game that I actually played fairly recently, and that's gonna be Dino Crisis. This is one that I wanted to play for the longest time, okay, and I finally decided to put it in, and it was just such a great game. Not like the scariest game I've ever played, and you know, it's definitely one of the least scary games on this list. It's not gonna mess with you the same way that Silent Hill 2 does, but it does have a couple of good jump scares in there, and it can be pretty exhilarating getting chased by dinosaurs, and it does have a little bit of horror in there. If you guys enjoy movies like Jurassic Park, but you want a little bit more of that horror, then Dino Crisis is literally perfect for you. It's basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs, and I just absolutely loved this game. It was so fun, and yeah, it definitely was spooky at times. Alright boys, next up we got a game that isn't scary really in the slightest, but it is just absolutely perfect for Halloween, okay, and that is Medieval. This game is basically just a Tim Burton movie as a video game. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. It is absolutely stunning. This is like the remake version of it. I think this was originally a PS1 game. Yeah, this is just like a perfect Halloween game if you're like not into horror games, if you just enjoy the Halloween season but maybe you're too scared to play some of these games. This game would be perfect for you. This game just deals with a lot of Halloween sort of themes. You know, you'll see a lot of pumpkins in there, you'll see trees that have got faces, and there's Frankenstein type monsters everywhere, and yeah, it's just a really like a lovely Halloween game. Again, not scary in the slightest. This game will not, like, I mean, you'd have to be a real pussy if this game scares you. Nonetheless boys, again, it's just an amazing game to play on Halloween, and especially if you're not like into horror games. This one I would recommend, and I'm pretty sure you can pick it up pretty cheap, so yeah, go out and get this one. It's really good. Okay then boys, next up we got a game that is kind of horror but not really, but sort of. It definitely has atmosphere that's horror like, but it's not really officially a horror game, but I played it very recently, okay, and that is gonna be Bioshock. This is a game that I played like when I was a teenager, and I enjoyed it. I liked the game quite a bit, but I recently replayed it, and this is one of my favorite games of all time now. Like, I was just completely engrossed in the world of Rapture. I'm currently holding the collection here, which obviously has all three of them. Bioshock Infinite doesn't have really any horror in it at all, but the first one definitely has that sort of horror atmosphere. It's very jump scary at times, and the world of Rapture is very, like, it's very horror based, you know. It's not really officially a horror game, but yeah, I would definitely say it is a good game for Halloween. But yeah, I just absolutely adored Bioshock 1, lads, and even if you don't play it for Halloween, just play it if you've never played it, because again, I just completely was engrossed within the story of this game, and I enjoyed the gameplay so much, and it's genuinely, like, I think it would be possibly in my top 10 favorite games of all time now. I don't know why I didn't appreciate it as much as a teenager as I do now. It was just incredible. Okay then boys, next up we have got a game. It's possibly the scariest game I've ever played, okay? It's like, this game will make you shit your pants several times over, and that is going to be Luigi's Mansion.
Fear is just something in your mind.
If
you don't let fear conquer you, you won't be scared. Fear is a choice.
Okay, all jokes aside, this game isn't scary, not really anyway. I will say though, it definitely has an atmosphere to it. Like, I can't really put my finger on it. Like, it's not scary, obviously. I mean, it's fucking Luigi, but it's got, I don't know, it's just got a little bit of a dark atmosphere to it. Luigi's Mansion 2, for some reason, sort of doesn't have that atmosphere. I don't know about Luigi's Mansion 3, but I've played the second one, and it doesn't have the same atmosphere that this one has. But yeah, there's definitely something to it. I can't really put my finger on it. But yeah, this is just such a fun game, boys. You can literally beat this game very quickly. It's super duper short. I think I beat this in a couple of days, and it's just a fun one. It's you obviously like sucking up all the ghosts, and it's basically like Ghostbusters as Luigi the game, you know. That's the best way I can describe it. So yeah, if you somehow have not played Luigi's Mansion, definitely play this one, okay? I would definitely recommend it. It's super fun, super good Halloween game, and again, if you're not like into the horror games, then this is perfect for you. Okay then boys, we talked about some games that aren't really horror, but this game most definitely is horror, okay, and that is going to be Signalless. This game is basically just Resident Evil. I say it's basically Resident Evil, it is slightly different, but the gameplay is most definitely Resident Evil inspired. I'm talking like the old school Resident Evils here, you know, like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 on the PS1. This game is definitely inspired by those games. Yeah, I played this game a few months ago for the first time, and it just completely blew me away. I loved the gameplay and just the atmosphere of this game. It's a very, I don't know what's the word for it. I can't really think of a word, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of psychological in its horror, you know, at times, you know. But yeah, it's just a really, really fun game, boys and girls. It's got some fantastic puzzles in there as well, so if you like your puzzles, this is definitely for you. It's just, yeah, it's just a really good one, and again, it will mess with you slowly and subtly, not in your face, and it's not super, I don't know, it's not going to be hitting you with crazy jump scares. There are a couple, though. There are a couple of jump scares in this game, quite early on, I think. But yeah, it's not a super long game either, lads, and I would definitely recommend this one if you're into, like, the old school Resident Evil games, and it's a good one. Okay, then, boys, Next up, we got a game that is pretty fucked up, to say the least, okay? That's the best way I can describe it, and that's gonna be Manhunt, okay? This is a game that really does get under my skin, okay? Even now, like, when I was a kid, I remember seeing this game on my mate's shelf, because he used to have this game, or it might have been his dad's, actually, and I would just look at the back cover, and I would see this guy right here, and I'd be like, I don't want to play that game, okay? That's scary. I mean, even him at the front cover, Mr. Nasty, I was like, yeah, I don't want to play that one.
Oh, I'm fucking shitting myself.
But as I got older, obviously I wanted to play this game, and it's a messed up game, okay? This game is basically just a killing simulator, and it gets really fucked up at times. Even though the game hasn't aged the best in terms of graphics and visuals, it still will get under your skin, like, you know, because the things you're doing in this game are just beyond fucked up. And I just really like the way the game deals with the atmosphere. I don't think there's a game that really, other than maybe Silent Hill, that deals with the atmosphere better than this one, okay? It's just like, it will really fuck with you in ways, like the music is horrible, it's got this horrible feel to it. The game is very dingy, and it's got that sort of VHS sort of aesthetic to it. And I'm even just looking at this manual here, boys, like, you can just tell that they really did care about the way they were building this world, you know? This is like basically like a snuff film catalogue, you know? It just, I feel grim just even looking at it, you know? It just, and this is a manual, like, this is one of the best manuals I've ever seen. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just a really cool game that it's just gonna get under your skin. That's the best way I can describe it. It's fucked up, it's messed up, it's gory, it's horrible at times. It's one of those games that isn't really that fun a lot of the times, but that's almost like the purpose of the game, you know? You're not supposed to be having fun doing the things you're doing, and as a result, it gets under your skin, and it's just a perfect Halloween game if you really want something to mess with you. Okay, boys, the next game we've got here is gonna be Little Nightmares, okay? I absolutely adored this game. I remember when I played this when it first came out, I was so excited for it. I think I saw the trailer for it, I was like, I need to play that game, and yeah, this is a game that is, I don't know, man, there's nothing quite like it. It's a very unique horror experience. I didn't even realize this, lads, until I've just opened it up here, but it comes with a little soundtrack, which I didn't even know, so that's cool. I'm glad I've got that. I might have to give that a little listen. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game, boys. It's just, it's weirdly horror. Like, it's, I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't feel like it should be scary, but it does actually, like, when you're getting chased and stuff, it does feel very scary. I think a lot of it is because, like, you play as, like, such a small little character, and when you're running away from these giant enemies, like, it really does feel like, oh shit, get a move on, you know, fuck, you know, it's very tense in the way that it deals with horror. And then when you just about escape by the skinnier teeth from these, like, giant monsters, and then the weirdness, and there's some weird monsters in this game, it really does, like, I don't know, it's very exhilarating. And some of, like, the monster designs in this game are just so grotesque and ugly looking, and I love it, man. This is such a good game, and again, I'm pretty sure this is cheap by now, so get this one, get the second one as well, play this on Halloween. Perfect game, right, to play on Halloween. And then my final recommendation for today, lads, is going to be a game that I'm sure most of you are familiar with, and that's going to be Dead Space, okay? This is one that I actually replayed, like, a couple of weeks ago. I was just in the mood for it. It's October, you know, it's getting dark early now, and I just thought, you know what, how long has it been since I played Dead Space? It's been multiple years. Let me give it a go again, and I'm so glad that I played it again, because it's just brilliant, man. It's just such a good horror game. Obviously, it's very much inspired by Resident Evil 4, but obviously it's got the sort of space twist on it, and it just feels very claustrophobic at times when you're on the Onimusha? On the, what is it called? The Ishimura, that's what I was trying to say, not the fucking Onimusha. That's a different game. In fact, you could actually include this game in this list. That's kind of a sort of a horror game. It's got demons and stuff in it. It's, I don't know. Anyway, but back onto Dead Space. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this game, lads. It's very gory. Again, it's got a claustrophobic feel to it. It can be jumpy at times. You know, the necromorphs, they will come out of, like, they'll come out of nowhere and hit you, and you'll be like, oh shit, and it'll jump you up a bit. And yeah, perfect horror game, boys. And you can actually get this one obviously on the PS5. You can get the remake, but for me, I mean, the PS3 one looks good enough to me, so I was more than happy to just stick with this one.
Jimmy the cheapskate!
Hey, I ain't cheap.
So anyway, boys and girls, that is my 10 recommendations to play this Halloween. I'm pretty sure you guys won't be able to play all of these games, but hopefully you found maybe a game or two that you could check out this Halloween, maybe that you've never played or haven't played in a really long time, and you guys can join me on my tradition as I play through, where is it? I don't know what I've done with it now. The Thing that I'm going to be playing this Halloween. That's what I'm going to be playing. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. But anyway, boys and girls, let me know in the comments what, like, Halloween games you would recommend me to play, okay? Obviously, I've given you guys some recommendations, but obviously I don't know every single horror game in the world, so let me know what horror games am I missing? What should I check out maybe next Halloween? Other than that, boys and girls, subscribe here if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one, alright? Peace.